Hi guys, I'm just checking my audio and the video. Just give me a minute, we'll start. It is working or not. Check. Just hold for a second. I'm just checking my audio and video. I'm just concerned. I believe my voice is audible. I'm just concerned about my screen. Just give me a minute. Let me check. All right, guys, I've checked with my team. I believe my voice is properly audible and my screen is also visible to you guys. So let's move to guys the next part. Again, welcome everybody, and we are into this global training of this Red Hat version 8, and with the integration of the Python, right? So yesterday, guys, I've talk about the core idea and the use case of servers in Linux. And yesterday we have started one server called web server, right? So before guys, I'll start some deep dive into the Apache web server that we have started, right? So today my plan is, and today is the full session agenda would be to go and understand something more internals about the server, and we'll do some more configuration in this particular server, right? And there you understand the use of configuration and how we do the configuration part. But I believe the yesterday lecture was very much interesting, I believe, because there I explain you not only to configure the server, because configuring server won't take a lot of time, like this 2 or 3 command was there, and you just configure. So most of the guys already know in the industry to configure this Apache server, right? But the biggest thing is the thing that is very interesting, the way I explain you the approach, and the way I explain the use case of server, and how I differentiate between two or three servers, that makes more sense, right? So before I start the today's the agenda that I have in my mind, I have a one great announcement for you. And again, that too I have done because I believe from last couple of days, or a lot of students over here has requested me. The announcement is, guys, because we are doing a Red Hat training program, right? And that's we are doing on the latest version of Red Hat. And the program that we are doing is RHCSA, Red Hat's some systems system associate training program we are doing here, right? So because lots of guys have a plan, and I think you should also have a plan on those thing in your mind. They have a plan to go for their certification, global certification examination, right? So that they will have in a mind, in a plan for this particular examination, right? But the biggest challenge is, guys, because right now we are just doing the training on Red Hat version 8, And if you are planning for go for the examination, so examination has some kind of different preparation that you have to do, and those preparation is typically known as examination boot camp. So it is a separate training, or you can say, or separate boot camp we have to do if you really want to appear for this particular examination. Or I believe without going to boot, without going through the boot camp, it would be very harder to pass the examination. Even though in the training we are trying to touch every aspects of the technologies, but exam bootcamp normally we require if you really want to pass this examination, and that too about RSSA latest version 8. And those guys who already done in RSSA in version 7, right, that is very much simple than that we have in version 8. In 8 they have changed a lot, and exam is little bit more complex that we had in version 8. Okay, so the now the point is, guys, over here is um, the no, if you do exam boot camp preparation for this high-end global examination, right, normally again in the market lot of organization or institute charge for this, so they charge a lump sum amount or some kind of big amount just for this exam bootcamp, right? So I also took one more decision under the IIEC rise. IIEC rise. So after our Red Hat version 8 training program that we are doing, I will also give some time from my side, and I will prepare you guys for the examination, those guys who are willing to go for the examination, and I will give the boot camp for my side, right? And that's again to free of cost, so I won't charge you anything for this examination boot camp, right? So this is the one request I got lots from a lot of guys in my LinkedIn and my Insta. So I thought let's announce this part. So again, I'm repeating. I'm We are doing Red Hat RSSA training free here. That's, you guys know. After this training or during in the training also, I'll just keep on giving lots of idea, lots of tips and tricks also during this training. But in the last, I'll give some separate time where I will train you guys for this RSSA version 8 examination preparation, right? And again, because we are doing this inside the IIC Rise 1.0, so I won't charge you anything from you guys. It will be free for you. But again, only for those guys, I will do this exam bootcamp preparation maybe in the private link of YouTube or maybe other medium, right? So the only guys who will be allowed to join this exam bootcamp preparation are those guys who are taking this training very serious. So to all the guys who are we are seeing the everyday attendance, all the guys that I seen, they are doing the task whatever I'm asking you to research. So I will only invite those guys, because this IIC Rise initiative is for our nation of making India future ready, right? So I just want your contribution, and the contribution would be only your time. That's all. Okay, otherwise I will start filtering guys, and after a while, if I see some of the guys are not giving the proper attention and time, so I will start removing those guys from this channel, right? So for sure, right? Because I told you initially, I have lots of thing in my mind for your career. We started with Red Hat, then we moved to Python, then we started Dockers also. Now I also announced one more thing in for the exam bootcamp also, that's for free again. Okay, and lots of things like this, right? So I have so more things in my mind, so I keep on announcing, but only for those guys who give their time and are sync with my emotion or my thinking, right, about making India. That's the one thing, right? So this is one great thing. Even though I would like to tell you one more thing, maybe lots of guys have no idea. um, so I have created lots of record in the Red Hat technological world. Even though when I think Red Hat has announced their RSCSA examination, I think this May and June of 2019, right? So recently they announced and they come up with a new version of Red Hat 8 training and the examination in their operating system also, right? And you know what? We have set and created one record, and so we are the first one who trained the student in Red Hat version 8, and we are the first one where we trained the student in Red Hat version 8, and the first one where through which a student has given this examination. And those student who has given this examination, they become the first one in the entire India, entire Asia, and entire world who has passed this examination, right? So we created a record actually, or not for the just one or two or three or 10 students. We had created a record of 700 plus students. Okay, so that kind of record actually we have created, and we also got lots of appreciation from the company. Okay, just for a small to share that memory actually, I have put one video here. So this is the 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay. So this is the video. So we have created this historic moment 700 plus this one 8 we have created this record, and this is the some of the student, not all by chance. So I don't know if the voice might not be audible to you, but they was very excited, and by chance I am the one who is creating this uh, video, right? So that's the small information I'm just sharing to you, right? So but the feel that I the main emphasize where I'm doing over here, right? There's all the students was the first one in the entire world, not I'm talking about India, right? They are the first one in the entire world, and almost all the students are pursuing a student, not almost 100% actually, right? I have created this record, and you know what, biggest thing is in their resume, in their bio, in their profile, it should, they always mention, it's not like this, they also mention that I am a RHCSA version 8 certified, right? They mention that I would be the first one in the entire world, right, who has passed this examination, right? So this kind of record these students have created. But obviously we student need a support, so I'm here guys for you to give you a support, right? So again, to make it clarify, we are doing the RSCSA training free of that we are doing, and after the while we'll do the boot camp also, is one kind of training again, but it is the training to prepare you guys for the examination. Again, those things again would be free from my side, there will be no charge. Okay, so let's come to our main topic, that is about again the web server. So yesterday we have started Apache web server, right? So let me go some little bit more deep dive. So before I start, I have shut down my yesterday operating system. I would like to again start my Redhat 8, and intentionally I actually shut down. Okay, because I would like to show you yesterday in this particular operating system we have created the web server, and it was working fine. There was no issue actually in the web server, right? But after I started my web server, what I would like to show you, right, after you start a web server, means after you start your operating system where you have configure your web server, right? So let's see guys, after your operating system starts, right, your web server will work or it won't work. This is one small thing I would like to show you here. So my operating system is booting, and after my operating system boot, I would like to show you that after my operating system boot does my web server is one kind of program, they are um, they are running right now, or after my operating system reboot my web server program stops. So that was my intention, right? And if you want to see this, it is very simple, right? Again, I go to my client browser. This is one of my browser. I'll go to my browser and I type the IP address of my operating system. It might be 162, then my page name, and start with HTTP, because we are using the HTTP protocol. Okay, but before this, let me check, because might be possibility, might change, right? Why IP will change, we will discuss in the future when we will discuss about DHCP server. So might be after reboot your IP might change. So it's always good practice to after just after reboot, just check your check your network card. By chance, in my case, my IP won't change, right? So so I'm hitting the same URL from my client, and what you'll see again, this screen is keep on moving, right? And normally when you see your system is connected, even though you, what can you do, because I'm using my Windows, so technically I am here. Technically this is my operating system of Red Hat having IP 162, and this is my Windows. So from Windows or from any other operating system, if you want to try to do something, it's always good practice. First go and check your connectivity, and the best way to check the connectivity is a ping command. So what I am doing from my Windows, I'll go for search, and in the search I type cmd. It open a command terminal for you. So like in Linux we have a cell, here we have a cmd called command terminal, like a cell. Okay, and here I'll do ping command and just try to check my connectivity from the Windows. Okay, without, because if you don't have a connectivity you can't do anything. Connectivity is a must in the networking world. So from here I can see the time. It means it is pingable. It means there is no issue in the terms of connectivity. So Windows is able to ping to my Red Hat. But even though you won't able to see your website, you want to see your website, right, access, because there's two reasons. First reason is when you yesterday I told you guys, by default in Red Hat, right, they already has one firewall enabled. Okay, and you know the high level use of the firewall, even though we haven't discussed. I'll take this topic separate, right? So if firewall is enabled, so they stop some of the network packets, and by default they are stopping if somebody coming to my system from the outside world to the web server, I won't allow. Okay, and so what we did yesterday, we stopped the firewall. But the, you know what, the command that we used to stop the firewall was this one. And you know what guys, this command is temporary stopping the firewall. It means if you stop the firewall right now, it stops. Now if I go to a page, you can see the option was can't reachable too long firewall. Now if I refresh, right, again little bit error change, refuse to connect. Why this new error come up, we'll discuss in a minute. But technically, you know what I'm trying to tell you here is, when you use the systemctl stop command, it stops the firewall temporary. It means after you reboot, firewall again start. But if you want to stop your firewall permanent, you can use a command called disable. What disable will do, it will make the firewall permanent disable. It means after every reboot your firewall always be stopped. Okay, so technically if you want to stop firewall right now as a temporary till your system is keep on running, you can use stop command. But if you think you after every reboot, okay, this is called booting, you want your firewall won't start automatically, you can use this option called disable. Technically disable makes your firewall permanent disable. So this means after every reboot your firewalls won't start. Okay, similarly yesterday, you know what, we have also even though after firewall stopped, right, I won't able to connect to my web server. Why? Because we started yesterday web server with this command. Okay, and same thing guys, when you start any services with the option called start, again it start temporary. Temporary means, okay, till your operating system is keep on running, the HTTP process or the program is keep on running. But as soon as system is stop, the program stops. It means after next reboot or after next boot, right, your HTTP service will stop. It means you have to, every time you have to boot, every time you have to log into your operating system, open the terminal and start your services. And if you really want to confirm that right now the status of your HTTP server, there is option called status. By this option you can come to know that your HTTPD service is currently inactive, is dead. This is the current status. Okay, but if you want to start this service, you can use a command option called again start. But it will start for you, right, till my operating system doesn't shut down, right? But after shutdown it again stops. Let me show you the status again. But Okay, so if you go for status, if you go for status, you can see now your service is active and it is running. Okay, it is running. Okay, and now guys, there's show you some more output here. We'll discuss this about this output after some time, but if you want to come out from this output, you can press Q to exit, so that you can come out from this output and you can use your terminal again. So technically guys, whenever you do start command, it start your services temporary. When you use stop command, it stop your services temporary. But if you want to if you want to stop your services permanent even after every reboot, you can go for disable. Similarly, if you want to start your services permanent, means after every reboot your service won't stop, then we have to use one more option called enabled. Okay, and right now if you see the status, what status say, right, your service is running right now, but technically a permanent it is disabled. You can see the word disabled here. But if you want to make your service permanent enabled, you can use enabled command to make it permanent enable. Okay, now if you do the status, what you see, your service is running right now because of the start command, and service is also enabled, means after every reboot your service won't stop. Okay, so this is the good practice. Normally when you start your server, you also want to make your server permanent. This means because normally maybe chances your service will stop, so we always want our service to be permanent. You can use this thing, and because your service start, now if you go to client side, you can use this URL and you can see the page will come up. So this part we already discussed yesterday. Okay, so this one more small option I would like to discuss with you. That's the one, right? And I would like to give you one more vocabulary. If you want to start your services permanent, so either we use the term called permanent, and we can use one more term here, it's called persistent. So typically, normally in the IT world, normally we use the word persistent more instead of permanent. So technically, if you want to start your service persistent, we have to use the enable option in the system CTL. This is one thing. Okay, so that's one small thing. And one more small thing, guys, I would like to tell you. So this is the URL that you have, right? And because this is URL, and because this URL is work on HTTP protocol, and any server or any URL that work on HTTP or HTTPS also, we'll discuss in the future why it is HTTPS. So for using this URL, we always use a program. This called client side program is browser. So browser is the typical one we always use to access any URL that are work on HTTP or HTTPS. We have other kind of URL also in the market, but typically all the URL that work on HTTP or HTTPS, we always use client browsers like Chrome and Safari or Firefox, something like this. Okay, and normally HTTP URL is normally only there where we have web server. So wherever we have the web server, and some kind of server also there in the market like app server, other also, but typically in the web server, we always have the HTTP URL kind of things, because web server internally on the network level work on HTTP protocol. It's something like this. It is not correct that at the network level it is called application layer level, but we'll discuss about the layers in the future. We don't require right now to discuss those points. So guys, this is the high level discussion I have discussed with already to you yesterday. I'm just giving some brief and some more small options I'm just trying to give you. Okay, this is one thing. One more thing guys I would like to tell you here, if you want to access any server, especially the web server, web server, so web server is always work on a protocol called HTTP. That is a reason in the URL the URL always start with HTTP. Okay, this is one thing. And the client who access your server are known as web server, a web client, you guys know. And for the client, you also require a software or a program. It's same thing, right? So program, either you can use your browser that you already know, but those browser are actually the your GUI kind of browser. But we have a program also available as a command line, right? This is also like a browser, but it's a command line browser. Okay, so one of the famous command line browser, right? It's not typically browser, but it's a one kind of command through which you can access any of the site. The command is curl, curl. So it is very famous command or a program, even though name full form is also client URL. So curl is one command and full form is client URL. All right. I'm the client, and I know how to access any server or any server URL. Okay, so what can you do? If you want to access any site, you can go to any system where your system is connected to the server using networking. Okay, and you can use the same system also. Right now, technically, I'm right now this system having the IP 162, and this system is your web server, and from the same system I'm accessing the web server. So the system that is working as a server can also work as a client. Okay, so again, guys, very small, not myth actually, but it's some guys sometimes confuse. They always think server would be in the different system, client would be in the different system. It is not like this, guys, right? Because because I would like to discuss in this point in very detail what I'm talking about right now. Because in one system there can be lots of program. Okay, some program will work as a server and same program will work as a client also. So what I'm talking about right now, I would like to discuss this point in very detail in some time when I start discussing about port number. Okay, but right now, so in system A, means in IP 162, I can also use the system as a web server, and the same system I can also use as a client. Okay, because both the programs and the software is different. This program is different, this program is different, and we can run multiple program in one operating system, right? So what I'm doing, so either you can use your own browser from graphical to access your site. Now your choice, you want to use a GUI browser like Firefox here, or you can use a command line kind of command or a command line kind of browser like a curl command. So I would like to show you both. So this is the browser, you guys know, and if you put your URL http colon slash slash 192.168 168.0.162. Technically I'm giving my own IP, but according to the browser you are going somewhere else. You are going to this URL wherever it is located, and I'm just going to access the page like lw.com, right? It is working fine, no issues. So that's your choice. You want to use Firefox as a browser, as a GUI, or you can use you want to open this URL from the command line. If you want to open from the command line, you can use a command called curl. Okay, you can see the page come up. Okay, and understand one thing, guys, whatever we write on the page, everything come up, all the data come up. The only challenge is if you use the curl curl is a command that doesn't understand HTML language. So whatever data my page give, they print as it is. But if you open your page in the browser called Firefox, the browser is the one, they know the HTML language, and whatever the HTML code we write, they parse it for you. And because they parse, they will convert into the bold, they will convert into the BG color. But typically, whatever we have the content on the web page, they will show you if you have the curl command. And the good thing is, because we know the curl command is the one that through which we can access our web pages or website also, right? So what can you do if you have a plan to store some web pages data in your local page, or you want to copy something, you whatever curl command, right? You can redirect, right? You know the symbol, right? And I can save in my own page, my.html. Okay, so what happened? Whatever data we fetch from this page, right, curl command print, and instead of print, I'll transfer this page data into this page. So whatever I have access from some website, right, it transfer in this page. And it means whatever website this guy has created, same page I have copied in my system. So you can use your own way or your own trick, whatever you have learned, and you're gonna learn to do those things. So it means if you have a plan to create a website like Google or something like this, it's very simple. Just curl this page, it download the Google page and redact in your own page. So whatever the Google website has, you also have your own. Okay, so website that is visible, that is accessible, you can have also, right? So without creating the site like Google or Gmail, you can create your own. Okay, so that's a different point. So a lot of hackers use this to creating a phishing site. So without creating the page or the Gmail login page, from the scratch. They use the curl or lots of commands also available in the market, and they copy their page in their own page and they host their own site. So some kind of phishing attack is there in hacking world they do, right? So I don't know, I don't want to discuss on those lines, but it is possible, right? So this is one small thing. So if you want to access your site, you can use a curl command for access. That's the one point. Okay, now guys, I would like to tell you one more important point that is very important, guys. So please understand, this is something conceptual topic for today. So whatever I discussed till now, it is just some basics command I would like to explain you, right? So okay, so the point, the things that I'm going to explain you, it is very important to understand. If you understand this topic, that surely you'll do. Then in the upcoming class, when I will take you towards how to create your own server. Right now, guys, what we are doing, we are just configuring the server. Okay, but in the future, right, when I go for and some detailed deep dive into the Python, I'll tell you there how to create your own server. There's a big difference, right? I discussed yesterday. Okay, so now what I'm trying to show you here is, for example, in my example, I have created IP162 as my web server. Okay, and some of my system, for example, in my case, Windows would work as my web client. This part you guys know, right? Now, what I would like to discuss, over here is, okay, yesterday I have discussed you that if any client want to connect to a server, they have to use networking. That obviously they have to use networking, right? Without networking, nobody can connect. For example, IP162 would be your first laptop, IP1 would be your second laptop, and if both the laptop is not connected to each other, you won't be able to access the site. Okay, and how to connect both laptops or multiple laptops in in some class ago, some session, yeah, last from a few session ago, I have discussed those connectivity. So between two laptops, three laptops, so we can configure one laptop as a web server, and other laptops or mobile phone can work as a client. It means networking is required. That's the thing you guys know, right? Now second point here is, okay, because IP162 is my web server, so a lot of guys say or think that if IP1 want to send some request or send some data or want some data, okay, they have to connect to the IP address. Okay, but guys, answer is one, understand one thing, it is impossible to connect one system to other system on their IP address. You won't connect, you won't able to connect to the IP address of any of the system, laptops, VM, mobile, or servers. Okay, we can't able to connect, there's no way to connect to the IP address. Why? Okay, so understand one thing. Okay, understand one thing, that I already discussed you again multiple times. In the operating system, whatever you do, right, you have to use some kind of program or the process technically. So guys, when I say program, I always mean to say process actually, because the code that is there in the hard disk is a program, but when you run it, it become process. Okay, so whatever you do in any operating system, right, you have to connect to a process. Okay, without connecting the process or a program, you won't able to do anything. This is the one thing. So either you do locally here by physically sitting over here, and somebody from outside world will come to a system and they do something and they ask to do something. Okay, this is one small thing. Second thing, that is important, IP address is not a process. It's just a number, it's just an identity of your system, it's just an address of your system. Okay, or because it is not a process, and because something, if it is not a process, right, is no, if it's not process, so nobody can connect to that things, nobody can ask do something for me. Okay, because if you want to ask something, for example, right now I'm using this whiteboard, this is the pen software I'm using in the Windows, right? So okay, because I'm doing something, so I require some process or program to be running, otherwise I won't able to do anything. Okay, this one small thing. And you can think also in this one way, for example, for example, if I take a very basic example to explain you this point, for example, I have one office. All right. Actually, I started my company long ago when I was in the first year for engineering. So it like 17 year this company is running, and Jaipur is my hometown in India. Okay, so I have my own company called Linux World. So we have one building here that's called Linux World. That's the name of my building, right? For example, and the address of this building, where this building located, is plot number 5, something like this, something. Okay, so this is the address, for example. Okay, so technically, if somebody over here and anywhere in the world, right, they if they want to come to me and to do something or want to send some request to us, right? So for example, this person okay, if they want to come and meet to me, for example, maybe I'm sitting here, this is me, I'm sitting here. Okay, if this person want to come to me, so what this person has to do first, this person has to come physically to my physical address where this building located, and the address is plot number 5, for example. Okay, when this person reach to this building, right, then after reaching, then they go inside this building. Okay, some and ask to somebody where is a person called Vimal. Okay, then somebody will take this guy, and this person finally reach to me. And finally, you know what, because this is a person, this guy go know how to do things. Okay, so he come to me, right, and whatever the query these guys has, whatever the thing these guys want to discuss with me, they discuss to me, right, they discuss to me, and I am the one who reply. Okay, so technically, guys, in this whole process, if you try to understand, guys, finally these guy here, let me write the word A, and my name, for example, B, right? B can only interact with A, or A can only interact with B. Okay, it is not like this. For example, just this guy come to this building on plot number 5 and start talking to this building. There's no it doesn't make any sense that this guy start talking to this plot number or through this building, right? Okay, this guy can only talk to me because according to him, I am the one who can solve his query. Okay, so in this complete context, guys, complete context, uh, this building, this complete building is your operating system. This plot number 5, where this building located, it is your IP address. Okay, and me over here is your server. In our case, it would be web server, for example, and this guy would be a web program or web client, for example, Firefox or Chrome. It means if Chrome or Firefox, right, want to connect me, because I am the one who will give the service to these guys. This building doesn't give you, this plot number 5 IP address doesn't give you, right? So technically this Firefox, using some road, using some airlines, it's called network. Using the network, they come to this address, right, and as soon as they reach the address, they reach to my operating system, and then they go inside the operating system, somebody help them, right, and ask somebody in internal OS where this Vimal web server located. They come and request me, and accordingly I'll serve the request. Okay, so technically, by this example, you come to know IP address is just a way to reach this particular operating system. And this is the reason why we want every operating system has a unique IP address. If two operating system will have the same IP address, then if IP1 want to connect to me, right, then maybe if some other system also have the same IP, right, then this guy might go here, and the wrong data they will access, or maybe not able to access, right? So this is the reason I in an initial class I told you, we can give same IPs to multiple OS. There's a command, I will share those command too, it's not big deal, but it's not good practice to give the same IP, otherwise there will be a lot of conflicts happen. Okay, and second thing, I believe you understood the use of IP. We can't connect to the IP address. IP address is just a way, so that our client can reach to us, to a same right building, to us, to our right operating system. And after they reach the operating system, they will go inside the operating system and connect to our program. And what is server? Server is one kind of program. They connect to our program. Okay, and when they reach the program, they ask the program what their request is, and server will reply with the request, and they will get the data. It is something like this. Okay, and now one more thing I would like to tell you here is, for example, if you talk about my building, in my building I might have multiple, my team, other teams would be sitting over here. For example, one guy is me. My role is to give you a service, for example, for training. For example, right now I'm doing training here. Okay, maybe one guy over here, they are developing some AI apps, right? So maybe this guy would be, for example, maybe Eric is the one who are giving service for artificial intelligence. Maybe one guy would be here for IoT, Internet of Things. Maybe John, who is giving these services. So in one building we might have multiple guys. Okay, Eric, John, Vimal, and everybody is doing different kind of services. So this means what I'm talking about, in one operating system you can create multiple servers. Okay, same thing I would like to tell you here is, again, a lot of guys think, but it's not, it is just a myth. If you guys think, in one operating system we can create multiple servers. One server would be web server, second would be mail server, third would be FTP server, DNS server. One system can use, or one IP address or one operating system can be used for creating multiple servers. And now big thing is, guys, if you have multiple server in one operating system, and if you have one operating system, normally you have one networking card, and normally you have one IP address. So if if client comes to this operating system and say, I would like to access my server, so which server they access? It means, if the here from here one person, maybe for example take this name called Krish. If Krish come to my building, Linux World, I float number 5, and this guy say, I would like to have the services from your company. So which services they will connect to? They connect to me, they connect to Eric, they connect to John, right? To whom it connect? So technically, the we normally say, my operating system normally say to Chris, your question is actually not complete. You have to ask me complete which service you want. I know you come to me for some services, but which services you come for? Okay, are you come for web services? You come for AI, for IoT, some training? Which kind of services you come for? Okay, then Chris had to tell, okay, I just come here to having the service for artificial intelligence. Okay, then this is the right relevant question. So because Chris come to us for AI services, so my operating system internally send this guy to this service, or send this guy to Eric, and Eric the one who will handle this request. Similarly, when client come to you, clients should be very clear to which service they want to go for. They want to go for a mail service or web service. Okay, and technically for this, when client comes to you, they use network, right? And in the network, how they come, they use a packet. So they create a network packet, and inside the network packet, right, they write, okay, what they write, I will have to go to IP 162, and in the 162 I will ask them, I would like to connect to the web server. So everything they have to write inside the packet. And guys, the good thing is, in this training, I don't know have explored this part or not. So right now, if your mobile phone is connected to your ISP, or your laptop is connected to your broadband, right? So lots of wireless traffic is there in your home, in your room, maybe, or maybe you might be have connected to the wire. So I don't know, guys, have you ever seen the packets is going on the air, right? So right now, if you see, look at your air, if you look at your room where you're sitting right now, you can see in this air there is lots of packets, but it visible, right? It is not visible right now. And maybe if you have a wire, lots of packages or lot of data is going through wire, your images, your photos, your videos, my live streaming, right? But are those data is visible? No. But in this training, I'll show you, I have a way to show you. We'll go deep dive into the wire, we'll go deep dive into the our air, let's call radio waves, right? And I'll show you all the packet is there, that is created by you or coming to you, we can read it. Okay, so in this training, guys, we'll go to that level, how to read the data from the wire or from the wireless. Okay, and then start reading, what you will see, And guys, this would be very interesting topic. And after having this topic, you can do lots of research in the networking world, right? So what we'll do, we'll start reading all the data that is going to the wire or wireless or Wi-Fi. So we will read those packets that goes in wireless or wired. Not today, but in the upcoming class. And we start reading what you come to know that IP1 is sending IP162 a packet, and the packet what they write in IP1 write I am going to IP162, okay, and in 162 I would like to connect to the web server, not the mail server, to the web server, and some more thing is there in the packet. Okay, so we'll explore a little bit more about packets, right, when we go deep dive into some networking internal hacks. It's not like a cracking hack, it's like a learning hack we'll do. Okay, so point is, guys, here the client is the always one who should know where they want to go. IP1, IP162, and at the after reaching 162, which program they would like to connect, which server they want to connect, they have to use they have to give the server name. And typically, guys, one more thing they do actually, and we have to do actually, typically, you know what, typically you should know one more thing, right? In your company, there might be possibility that one two guys had the same name. For example, we have one more service in the company, for example, for the big data services or big data ecosystem services. Okay, and this is managed by one user called Vimal again. Okay. Now the good important thing is this Vimal is different. This Vimal is different. They're two different human being by chance having the same name. But they're the two different human being. This guy is managing some service in training. This guy is managing some service in the big data Hadoop world or Miss Spark world maybe. Okay. So in this case, if this Chris come to your system in this protocol 5 IP address to this operating system and say, I would like to connect to Vimal. Okay. Now your operating system confused which Vimal you're talking about. And according to the client they are right. So what we have to do, instead we use the name like Vimal, like Eric, like John, again one more Vimal. Instead we use the name whenever anybody in my company who are willing to do give us service. Okay, maybe not all the guys are willing to do service. Maybe we have some office boy, maybe some we have other guys also. Just they are just doing idly sitting behind the scene. They are doing some back office work. They are not for the front end or to who just helping the client for services. Okay, so here we have only four guy, Eric, John, one Vimal, and second Vimal are the one who doing services. So all the guys who are doing services, what can we do? We can assign some unique number. So when the first Vimal come up, we give the number 1. Then Eric come up, we give the number 2. Then John come up, we give number 3. Again, one more Vimal come up because this second Vimal, third Vimal, or we give the number 4. So here, for every human being who are delivering the services, we give some unique number. So now from onwards, when if my client come, right, for example Chris come, so we already inform the Chris initially on the mail or some phone or WhatsApp, right? Then say, when Chris, if you come to my company and if you're looking for training service, you have to contact to number 1, and if you're looking for big data services, you have to contact to number 4. Okay, similarly same thing happen here. Okay, whenever you start a server, okay, so for example web server, so instead we use the web server, we give a web server unique number. And typically, guys, this unique number that we are giving to the web server, we are going to mail server. Instead we use the term mail server, we can give a unique number to this mail server, and this unique number is typically known as port number. Okay, and normally in the web server world, the number that we give is a universal. It's like standard, everybody give the same number, like is 80. For example, if you go to mail, we give the number, for example 25. FTP, again we have multiple, normally 21. DNS 53. So almost all the biggest server or famous server in the market, we have pre-standard port number that we always give. Normally you don't have to give the program, the software that we are using, they already have internal assigned number. Okay, so guys, that is the meaning of the port number. So you know what I'm talking about right now, right, because a lot of guys has a lot of confusing about the port number. They say, somebody say port number is a gateway to enter your system, a lot of different myth concepts they have created a port number. But technically, port number, if you see here, what you feel, what is port number? It's just a unique ID of my name, right? That's all. It's no gateway, right? It's just a ID. Okay, so it's something like this. A system a guys come to my office, they enter into my operating system, and somebody sitting here and say, Chris say, hey, I would like to contact to the guy who unique number ID is 1. So they will take this to this guy and say that this is a client for you. So port number is just a unique identification of the server. And what is server? Is a program process. It means all the program and all the process that is running in a system who want to give a service to the client, they should have port number. So what I mean by this, let me explain you here. Okay, so let me ask you one small question over here. Does date is a program? Yes. When I run it is process? Yes. But this program has a port number? No. Because this program is not a tendency to give a service to the outside world. For example, if we talk about Firefox, okay, does it a program? Yes. But does this program has a port number right now? Right now is not. When they connect to server is a different case altogether. It's a client port. But right now this program doesn't have the port number because this program is again has a not tendency to serve the client from outside world. Okay, but if you talk about my this program that I'm running right now is HTTPD. Okay, does this program is a program? Yes, it is service. Because it is service, it is a program. And because a program, does this has a port number? So you should you have to ask yourself, does this program has a tendency to give a service to the outside system that is not your laptop, is other VM, other laptop, mobile phone? Yes. If yes, then this guy has a port number. Okay, this guy has a port number, and where you can see the port number of this particular program they are running. For this we have a command called netstat. So if you want to see all the program that is running in your system, you guys know the command, right? If you want to see all the program that is running in your system, we can use ps-aux. This command you can use to see all the program or the processes running in my operating system. These are all the programs running in my operating system. Okay, so let me squeeze the screen. Okay, and what you will see, let me run again. You can see one Firefox is running right now, you can see in the background, and also HTTPD also running. Everything is a program or the process. But if you want to see all the process that has a port number, and only those process has the port number that they want to serve to the client, they want client come from outside, they can connect, they can use the command called netstat-tnlp. So this will tell you, and netstat is a command, and tnlp is a 4 different options. T is different, N is different, L is different, L and P is different. So what they show you all the programs. Okay, all the program. For example, if you see in the last line, this is my program name or process name. Okay, and they show you that this program has running with port number 80. Okay, for example, we have SSD, they're running a port number 22. DNS mask is one program we'll discuss maybe in the future, 53. Okay, so this command we can use to see all the port number, but you don't see any program named Firefox, you don't see any program named Date, because they are not the one who work as a server for you. They're not giving any service to the client. So this command only show you those server that are working as a client. And but if you see here, there are lots of server running behind the scene. Even though we haven't started, your operating system running behind the scene for you. We'll discuss why they're running. Okay, we only started this program. But yeah, if we stop this program, stop means if we talk about this diagram, if I stop myself, it means either I die or maybe I end off today. Okay, so there's no ID one right now in this office. Okay, in this case, if any client from outside come and asking for anybody there and ID one, the OS say no, there's nobody. So it means A won't able to connect. Thus in this case, if you see netstat, there is no port number 80. So it means if any client come and ask, can I connect to this guy, they say see, they keep on ring, and what they say, you won't able to connect. You won't able to connect. You can't able to reach and connect because this guy is stopped. Okay, and either I say this way, or I say this guy as a client. Okay, as client coming to you, IP 162. The 162 is there. They ask 162, does do you have any port number that is having the port number 80? Okay, the do you have any program that having the port number 80? They always say no, we don't have. That is the reason my client get the message unable to connect. Okay, so this is one small thing. So what I'm talking about, guys, every server, okay, in this networking world especially, okay, those who are giving a service to the client, they should have a port number. When you want to see the port number, you can use this command to see the port number. Okay, and when the port number starts or come up, its port number is never start, actually just a number, right? Port number is always associated with your services. So when your service start, your program or process start, and if your process start, your port number start. And guys, you'll talk about this port number in very detail when we go for Python advanced, where I'll show you how to create your own server. And when I show you how to create your own server, right, where you can give your own port number, whatever you feel like. Okay, it is something like this. Okay, so this is one thing. And one more thing, guys, I would like to tell you here. Okay, where we have mentioned, okay, in our client, which IP to go to connect. So guys, you know what, where we have mentioned this part here, this one, which page to access we mention here, how to go, we always mention here HTTP. Normally browser doesn't show you HTTP, but internally we have HTTP here. Okay, but where we have mentioned that in IP 162, in 162, right, you have to contact to port number 80, where we have mentioned this. Okay, so technically, you know what, guys, understand one small thing, right? Technically, web server is very common server in the world, and because very common server almost all the company has. So what we have done, right, we have created one standard. Means everybody decided, let's do one thing. Everybody in any of the company, any of the product they use for the web server, maybe Apache or maybe other server, Nginx, right, they have to use the port number 80. They have created this standard, or because we always connect to our web server to our from our browser like Firefox, Chrome. The guys who created a Chrome or the Firefox, what they done, they say, because normally if anybody connected to web server port is always 80. Okay, so what they did, they internally hard coded this. Hard coded means if anybody use any URL, they believe they are going to 80. It means from the client side, right, into the packet, they put two things: the IP where they would like to go, IP 162 for example, and automatic they put 80 as a port number, because they believe your the server port number is always better if you go to web server or if you go to via HTTP protocol. Okay, and understand one thing, guys. Normally web server is known as web server, and sometimes it is also known as HTTP server. So either you say web server or either you say HTTP server, they are the same thing because they work in using HTTP protocol. Okay, so it's mean, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, this is the URL. Okay, and your web client, this Firefox has internally hard coded that whenever you go for any URL, let me open my notepad to explain you. Okay, if anybody go to this URL, okay, we assumed that you are going to port number 80. Okay, or you know what, where they hard code here, colon 80. So technically this is the right syntax of your URL. So in your URL, your URL, okay, you have to start with protocol, then the IP of the server, then colon, then port number, and which page you want to access. This is the right URL. It means if you type this, if you don't type the port number, it is the same thing. So it means if I type this, it will open the same page, no difference. But if you try to use other port, for example 81, 81. And if you hit enter, what happened? Okay, it will fail, won't look correct. Why? Because you are going to IP 162 and asking 162, do you have any program? They have any program that is having the port number 81. So we don't have any program having the port number 81. So find the what our OS say. We don't have any program, so unable to connect. That's all. So technically, what I'm trying to tell you guys here, either you type 80 or you don't type 80. 80 is the same thing, but technically, internally, you should know your browser has put 80 for you. So when I go for network practical, where I explain you how to read a packet from wire or wireless, that time I'll show you, we'll go deep dive into wire or wireless at the radio waves level, right? We'll get the packet and I'll show you your browser has put 80 internally inside the packet. Even though we haven't mentioned in the URL, but they put first and then they send. Okay, because my server doesn't know to whom the client has come up. So client has to write the port number from the end. And normally client doesn't write because the client program that we use, they will do the thing for us. Okay, so we don't have to write this. Okay, this is one thing. And guys, I just really need 10 more minutes for today. I would like to tell you one more small thing. So the port number that we use in web server 80 or an other server, for example mail server 25, these are the standard port number, but it is not hard coded. It doesn't mean you have to use only 80 only. You can use other ports also. Okay, standard means you have to use same, right? Because this is the name everybody know. Okay, but in your company, if you are configuring the web server, you can use your own personal port number, maybe 81 for example, maybe 1111 for example. But the range for the port number is port number actually internally stored in 2 bytes. 2 bytes, it means 2 to the power 16. This means 35,536 ports we can give. The range of the port number is from 0 to 35535. So all the number 536, I think this is the right number. So these are the range that port number server. So you can give any port number between this range. So you can give 81, 80, 111, whatever port you want to give, you can give it. Okay, so let me show you this demo. So right now we are using Apache web server, and Apache web server, the product that we're using is HTTPD, and the guy who created this product has internally said that whenever you use this product, they use the port number 80. But if you want to change this port number from 80 to 81, can you do? Answer yes. How? For this, we have to reconfigure HTTP product. Okay, so if you remember yesterday, if you want to configure any server, I have given you 3 steps. First, install the software. Install the software that we did yesterday. The software we installed. Second, configure the web server. As such, we haven't configured yet. And third, start the services. So right now I'm showing you the second step. If you want to change your server according to your requirement, then you have to configure a web server. Okay, and if you want to configure any web server, you have to change some data. And for change the data should be somewhere in the file, and file should be somewhere in directory. Okay, so every server normally has their own file where you can change something about it. Okay, so if you want to change something about the web server, then web server has their own file. Those files are known as configuration file. Okay, and the configuration file for the web server is located inside the folder called etc/http folder. Inside this folder, conf folder, this is a folder where the file of httpd software located, and the file name is http.conf. Normally the conf file extension .conf, normally, not always. Okay, so inside this folder we have this file. So this is the configuration file of Apache HTTPD software, where we go and change the things or the configuration according to our requirement. And what is our intention is to change the port number. So what I'm doing, I'm using my text editor gedit. I'll open this page. Okay, understand guys one thing, I'm over here, so I'm inside this folder or this directory, and your file is located inside this directory. Okay, I'll open this page, Inside this page, if you go down, it's a little bigger file, but if you go down, let me give the right line number here. So line number 45, you can see from here, line number 45. What they mention, that my server, that is the web server. If any client want to connect me, my web server is a program, and the program or process has having the port number 80. And if you want to give any process a port number, this is also known as that my process is listening on the port number 80. So this term is also known as listen. So technically in this world, this term is called listening. That's the reason they have the keyword called listen. So my web server is listening on the port number 80. But if you want to change to 81, just change this. That's all. It's pretty simple, right? So I just changed this port number 80. So what I have done, my web server is already been configured for the port number 80. I changed my port number from 80 to 81. It's so simple. So after this, because your port number changed, how can you verify? We can use the netstrat command to verify. This command will show you all the port number that we have right now currently running. But if you see, guys, my port number is not changed. It is again still 80. Okay, so my web server is listening on port number 80. If you see here, listening. Okay, why they won't change? Because they understood one thing. Okay, we have configured our changes in the conf file, and file is always stored in your hard disk, in your storage, and you and me, we know that we have changed. And HTTPD is what? Is a process, and process always running in the memory means your RAM. So what you have to do, you have to update your program, update your process, and ask them that we have changed something in the hard disk. So again, you go to the file, go and check whatever we have changed, and accordingly you have to update yourself. For this, what you have to do, you have to first stop your process and again restart. This is known as restart. So it means whenever you change something in a configuration file, you have to always restart your service. And for this, either stop first, then start, or we directly have the options called restart. It means whenever you do any change in the conf file, 99.9% in almost all the server, we have to restart our services. Okay, it means stop our services, again start. It means when you again start, they again go to hard disk, read the conf file again, and whatever changes you have done, they will show you. And now you can see that it changed to port number 81. Okay, now my web server is same program, same process, same power, same security power, everything same, but they are running on port number 80. It means if I go to my client, again exit the same URL, it was working very fine. If you hit enter, it now is failed. Because my browser thing, because you know guys, this is the Windows browser, right? And my server is my Redhat. We change the number, how my other client should know, right? They never know. So again, what the thing, the servers are running an 80 port, they are sending a request to where? To port number 80. So if you don't write, they are sending the request to the port number 80. And finally, there is no 80 port, there is no guy with the port number 80, it failed, right? So I am the server. So I am the one who have to tell to my client that my name has been changed, my ID has been changed. Now, if you want to connect to me, right, you have to come to port number 81. Okay, now my client has to come to port number 81, and you can see the site. It means if you change the port, it won't change look and feel, the site, all the things, everything same, just name has been changed. But if your name has been changed, you have to tell to your client this ID or name or the technical port number has been changed. Okay, so now guys, one question to everybody. Okay, what is the good use case to change the port number? Question is, can we change the port number of the server? Answer yes, we have seen. But why we need to change the port number of server? The question is, what kind of use cases it solved? Okay, again, this is again small myth in the market. There's a reason I'm asking this question to you. Okay, what do you think, why we need to change the port number? What kind of use cases or the problems it solve in the real world? Okay, so do you want to change the port number in the real world? Yes, sometimes we have to change the port number. Okay, why we have to change the port number? So this is my question to everybody, and I would like to put the question over here also. Okay, in your right side, so you just give the answer. Let's see who can give the right answer. Okay, because they have a lot of myth again why we need to change the port number. And says we can change the port number, I'll show you, but how to, why to need to change the port number, that's the big point. And I would like to tell you one more thing, guys. Yesterday I told you that our website, whatever web pages you have to put inside this folder. So this is your default document root. Means if you put any pages here, a web server read from here. If you put in any other places, it won't work. Okay, but if you want to change this folder, how can you change? Again, in the configuration file. So if you go to your configuration file of httpd, it is right in the conf file, that your default document root is this one. Let me show you some with the right. Okay, the right over here in the line number 122, the right, your default document root would be this one. It means if you put anything inside this folder, web server read this file, web page, and they give to the client. So my question to everybody here is, if you want to change your port number, sorry, so if you want to change your document root, how can you change? So I just want to give you one small task. What I want, you have to change your document root. It means, for example, what I want, I would like you to create one folder called /web. Now from onwards, whatever web pages you want to copy or you want to deploy, you want to host, you to put here. But if you put here, your web server doesn't know where you put the pages. So what you have to do, you have to go to this file and change your document root. So just guys, go and try this example and check, does it is working or not. So what I want, one more question to you. Okay, what I want you to change document root of Apache web server to /web folder. Okay, so just try. Let's see it is working or not. I want to change the document root of Apache web server to this folder. Okay, so just go and try this. Okay, so two tasks. Definitely I'll give the answer, guys. Every question whatever I ask you guys till now, I know from the first day onwards. So a lot of questions answer is pending. Technically it is not pending actually. I just waiting for the right topic come up. That time I will give the answer, right? So nothing is pending, but you have to keep on trying. So two questions I have asked you guys, and lots of concepts I have explained you today, especially the concept port number, and you will be very much feel wow when I'll go for the topic where you will create your own servers like web server, something like this. You can create your own protocol, your own server, your own port number. You can just go and give it right. So guys, this is some of the topics we have done today. Technically guys, some more concept of the web server is left, so I need one more day to complete the web server. So my tomorrow plan to give you some more advanced stuff about the web server, some more concept about the web server. Plus it is not about the web server, some more concept that is very common to the servers. So whenever I start new server for new services, so all those concepts would be common, right? So those server will be finished very faster. Okay, and some of the basics command in Linux we haven't touched yet because we haven't see that requirement. But some command like vi or path and other kind of things, we if we got the time tomorrow, I will finish those topic also. Okay, so that's all for today's topic. I'm starting my what do you say, my this chat window. So if you have any query till now, you can ask me. All right, so just give me a minute. I'm just enabling the chat window. So if you have any query, you can ask me. I highly suggest if you can ask the query related to the today's topic or topic whatever we have just finished in like last day or day before again yesterday. So just please try to focus on those query that will make more sense about what we are discussing here. Okay. So I started my chat window. Can yes, Dhruv, we can use port number 443, but port 443 is normally for HTTPS. So even though in RHCSA we don't have HTTPS topic, but if you want, I'll show you how to use HTTPS. So we can use 443. Even though we can use 443 without HTTPS also, but it's not good practice to use. Curl command can we save particular table? Uh, uh, if you can explain what do you mean by particular table? If you are talking about HTML table, answer is we don't have that option as the curl, but we can use some after pipe. You can use some AWA command kind of to find those data that typically known as scraper program you can create to find table on the web pages. Okay, want to know more detail about curl? Definitely, Nagaraju will see. So you I think you have understood my approach. So I keep on moving, and as soon as new concepts required, I'll start giving the answer, right? So rather than I discuss only on the curl, right? Whenever the new options come up, for example, in the curl, if you have some site like working on HTTPS, so we have to use some option. So we will definitely explore some more about curl, right? We'll definitely see. The guy who was cyber wizard, your bridging not working. I don't know, maybe you might have some driver issue. I can't say without seeing the issue, so I suggest whatever group you are in, okay, put to the volunteer, and just please also share your screenshot how you set your bridging. Until the time your bridging is not working, you can put your system in the netting mode. So there is option called netting. Ratim, what is subnet mask? So definitely in networking part, we have to discuss some more thing about a routing gateway, right? So I'll take one class. There I'll explain you what is the use of subnet mask and how it is used to find the network name. So that time I will discuss about subnet mask. Till now we haven't any requirement on subnet mask. So can we use yes, 100% by default Prince PHP site is working by default here. You can install, but you just have to install a PHP interpreter here. That's all. So PHP site will definitely work for you. Okay, just you can directly go and put in the same location of PHP pages. It will work for you. Okay, not for, only for PHP, but if you go for Ruby or Python, you have to install extra Java and some extra settings. But normally PHP by default work. You have to just install the PHP interpreters. No, you can't use a local host to connect with the mobile phone. Yes, mobile phone has their own local host, but uh, from mobile to Linux, if you use the local host of Linux, it won't connect because local host is a local IP. So again, we have one discussion on local host, right? Athurva, quantum computing. It is again one of my favorite topic. I've done lots of again research in the quantum computing, and and I have a great plan uh, for um, for upcoming launching of the quantum computing inside actually our own company called Linux World. So right now I'm just not saying anything about IIC, but yeah, quantum computing I have as a good plan to come up with. What difference between 800 and 44? These both are the port, right, Devanand, right? 8080 and 444 both are the port. You can give this port to any program. So if you're using any application in the market, some program application using 8080, for example, like Tomcat, some program is using 4444, 880. So every program has their own port number. So I explain you today port number is just identity. You just go to their application and change it. It's just your customizable number. You can give anything. How to enable Tor browser in Linux? So there is a lot of Tor plugins available, right? So I just don't want to entertain any question related to security, but Tor is a onion routing protocol that we used a lot for creating a onion proxies kind of setup. So but yeah, we have a lot of plugins available for the browser, and some special browser also come in the market for the Tor enable, but I don't want to discuss right now here. How did intercopy or copy command work? Yeah, one topic come up, Subhanesh Kumar, where I will discuss about inode. There I will discuss about the internal working of the command like copy, mv, move, all the things. So what is SSL certificate? Though SSL certificate we assume we use on HTTPS connections or these kind of connections, right? Normally in the encryption world. So if we have a requirement of any topic of cryptography come up, I will discuss there about SSL. So what is VTX in the virtualization? So again, we have one topic of virtualization I will discuss there. So that's all guys I know, because lots of things you guys are very excited and curious to know about. But most of things will come in the upcoming classes. So I highly suggest, if you have any questions related to topics till now, you can ask me. Yes, guys. So technically, about the RHCSA Red Hat exam bootcamp, we will soon announce when we'll start the bootcamp for you. So they will announce the date, right? So we'll announce. But yeah, in this during the training also, I keep on giving some tips also for the examination that will help you. But we will do a dedicated session for the RSS exam bootcamp. Will do for you. Will we take Nginx? I'll try, Manish. Can we take Nginx in this training? Because my first focus area would be to complete Python and RSS content, whatever we have. Okay, and then we do. Can we use exam for FTP, for host FTP? Exam is, I normally is a, I think, window program kind. Normally it is for your PHP, MySQL, Apache, all those things, right? But in the HTTP they have the module for HTTPD for FTP. So you just configure this module, then using the exam you can set up your FTP. So that is possible, but how, it is again very different topic. I don't want to go there. Docker topic, Manu, I would like to give the answer on the Docker classes. Okay, firewall guys, right now we have disabled firewall. It won't harm your PC because we have disabled firewall for your for Red Hat. It won't hamper the firewall of your base system like Windows or something like this. But it's not good practice. Right now I disable, but again in the future I will again enable. And that time I will talk some about the rule of the firewall. Then we can use the web server with the firewall enabled. Okay. Can we use Docker in IoT? Yes, absolutely yes. So lots of IoT frameworks. Let's say, for example, if you talk about Raspberry Pi and all the things, right? They have now start supporting the Docker container engines. So yes, you can use launch Docker on the top of IoT devices. Yeah, I'll definitely try, Deepak, to talk about OSI, if we definitely have the time. That's all, guys. Thank you very much. I think almost all the major questions I have explained you. No, we don't require to go for Red Hat subscription. Subscription we don't require. We are just doing the trial version of Red Hat, so we don't require to subscribe. Okay, so that's all, guys. Bye, take care, and see you tomorrow with some more topic about Red Hat. Guys, take care. See you. Bye. Good day and good night.